La di da dum 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 da da la ba da ba dee ga doo ga ga. Start streaming. Looking for pics. I'm looking for a pic. Hello, everybody. Oh, what am I hearing here, Eric? 1, 2, 2. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me? But I just heard myself coming out the computer speakers as well. Very interesting. Double whammy. But can you hear me? Okay. Okay, good. Hey, everybody. Where's the pop-out chat? Here it is. Hello, early Christmas. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic because so last time. Well, hello everybody. Hello, M Mixing. Eric's here as well. It's Matt and Eric and me in Quebec. Hello, Martin. M Mixing. Ben Lipstein. Lemmica, how are you? So Egbert Fartelot. I just had to say that out loud. Hello, Sheila. Hello, Ico Multimedia. So this is rather fantastic because last week we did last Thursday. We scraped the surface of the IK Multimedia Total Studio 2, I believe it is called. And we used like half a dozen plugins and still haven't finished mixing the song live. So I'm going to carry on mixing the song. I'm also going to put a keys part down in the chorus and go through a whole bunch of different sounds. So how wonderful is that? I've actually got, I know you can't see it because it's not a movable camera, but I have down here my iRig Keys IO. Let's see if I can pick it up. Am I going to unplug this accidentally by doing this, Eric? Eric's going to get mad at me. He said, of course you won't. He's going to get mad at me. So this is what we're using. Oh, there you go. You can see it in the camera. So that's what we're using the iRig's Key IO. We did a giveaway of one of these a few months ago. And our friend Steve, who you all know if you're Academy members, everybody knows Steve McGora. He came and did a demo with us. He's going to do another demo with us in a couple of weeks. And the reason why, another IK demo, and the reason why he's not doing it now is because he's on tour. He's actually in Europe touring. So those of you, I think last time I looked, he was in Germany, wasn't he? His band is Robert John and the Wreck. Anyway, he's a phenomenal keyboard player, as you know, and a singer. And he came and did the giveaway with us for free. The only source of payment is he took one of these away. And now he's doing all of his production stuff using this. He loves it. So that's a pretty darn good indictment, isn't it? It is pretty special. I'll be honest, and we do love it. So I'm going to use that in a bit, but I want to finish mixing the song, keep going through the Total Studio 2 bundle, pull up some more plugins, then plug in and do, I was just listening to the chorus before we went live, and I thought to myself, there could be a pad in there, even if it only comes in the second choruses and the third chorus. And we can try some different stuff out. We could try me playing some keyboards. I'm a hack keyboard player, but that's the point. That's the reality now working in DAWs, as you know, I'm a guitar player. Hence why there's always one of these handy and all over the place, I'm a guitar player. However, I also hold down some keys. All right. How are you all? How is everybody? Hello in Germany. Yeah, it's a great endorsement. Is it okay to use with an iPad? Could be a big help. I believe you can use iPad stuff. Pitch bend and mod wheel. Yep, there's a mod wheel, a pitch. Let's see if I can hold this up. Can you see it? Trying to see what you're seeing. Okay, so there is the pitch bend and the mod. The first two there. See those two? It's also got octave and there's a program wheel input. I mean, it's basically, and you've got the pads over the top. So if you want to hit some drums and all that kind of good stuff, you can. Anyway, that's our IO. I mean, it's an IO as well. How insane is that? So basically, the reason why I was talking about it is he now takes that on the road. He plugs into his iPad and writes songs and records. Oh yeah, let's not forget that. Look at that on the back. You can plug a mic in. So this is your all-in-one thing. It's pretty darn nifty. So if you're a keyboard player in particular, this is awesome. So what it is like you can plug in the mic here and you can play it. So it's your I/O, it's your keyboard, it's your all-in-one, like that and your iPad. God bless America, or that and your laptop, and off you go. God bless the world. All right, let's go back to the song. Say hello to everybody. John Moore, Hillary, BW Sound. Hello, Alexa, Andrew Byrne, DJ, Vincent, Cliff. Hey, Cliff. Hey, Plap Academy members, everybody that's there. Latin American watching you. I'm glad to see it. Hey, Dave Merkel. Hey, Jeremiah. Peter, Emily, hello there. What a great bunch of guys and girls we have here. Mark, Frame Junkie, 3 for Parker. Wow, so many wonderful people. Well, as ever, please do me the favor of hitting that like button and sharing. And I'm looking here, seeing how many people we have online at the moment. We usually have 300 to 400. We just started up. Great. So yes, please hit that like. That would be amazing. If you can, share it. We currently have 230 something people here. Please hit the like button. So go over there and like. And if you're new and you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We're doing marvelously well. We're at 245,000 subscribers, hoping to hit a 250,000 in the next couple of weeks. That would be absolutely amazing. Wow, I mean, talk about Thanksgiving in America. I remember when we started the channel. 4 years ago now. We just hit 4 years. Yay! We hit 4 years. 4 years ago, I looked at it and I remember I was looking at Pensado, and Pensado had been around for like 3 years, and Graham had been around for a few more years. And I was looking at these two channels going, wow, how do you get to do that? Like, Pensado had like 106,000 subscribers. I remember when we started. I remember thinking to myself, 106,000, that is so many. How can you get all those subscribers? And now look, 4 years later, and we have nearly 250,000. That's because you all rock. It's absolutely amazing. I have pretty hair. I have a messy hair. I have permanently just got out of bed hair. So thank you, everybody. It really is. The only reason why we have a channel that's as helpful as possible is because all of you here. You're all so unbelievably helpful. It's insane. This community is really, really incredible. The Academy in particular, which is like half the people here seem to be from the Academy. This is like a really, really wonderful place where everybody helps everybody else out. So please hit that like button and let's get stuck into some rock and roll. All right. Well, indie pop. Let's get stuck into some indie pop. All right. I'm going to play where we left off. So I'm going to listen, let's say, middle-ish end of the first verse into the chorus. I'm up here, by the way. Hello. Let's have a listen.
And I'm way too small to resist it. But maybe there's something for me inside letting go. All I see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling down. I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I won't pretend that I'm all I should be. Sometimes I can't be anything more than flesh and blood, a sinner after the American daydream, but well aware that it's a fever called make-believe. Like a taste of fame from the safest place. And I'm way too vain to resist it, but maybe there's freedom for me inside letting go. All I see see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling down. I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast at night.
Yeah, this was the last thing we were freaking out about, wasn't it? The T-Rex, the Dynamo. Just how freaking fantastic this was on the high mids on the guitars, the way it tucked it in and just made it feel fantastic. I actually just increased the output lightly.
All I see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling down. I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window.
It's interesting, I didn't do any kind of sub on that snare, which I think I will now. Let's just quickly get to that. The snare is feeling really, really good, but it needs to elevate in those choruses. We have so many different groups here. Let's take this off, see if that... Oh, there's another group of drums. Find out live drums, live drums. It looks like some template has recently been imported here. Eric? What he's like, I'm sorry. These are all like groups that I did not create. Where did you bring all these groups in from?
I don't know. When I opened it up, it started showing that, so I had to put in some IO.
Look at all these groups you've added down here.
No way.
Look at this. I'm like, what are all these groups?
Oh wow, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, some clever stuff. All right. Finally, I managed to turn off all the groups till I find the actual group. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a snare group. And I think the lesson is here is be careful when you're importing settings from other sessions that you're not bringing in 25,000 different groups. All right, so what have I done? I've taken all the snares here. There's no EQ to these snares. So this is the snares. Which I'm actually fairly happy with. But I just want to give it a group that I can manipulate a little bit. So I'm just going to go for the next available, which is 5 and 6. We're going to create a stereo subgroup, a sum, an auxiliary, a bus. They're all the same thing. Sum, bus, auxiliary, subgroup. It's whatever you want to call it. Some people call it, I call it usually a bus, sometimes a subgroup. It's a subgroup. You know what? We all know what it is. We can call it sum. We can call it snare, sub, bus, aux, sum. There you go. See that? The snare, sub, bus, aux, sum. All right. I know. I'm an idiot. So I'm sending that to my stereo drum bus that we already created, my stereo sum, bus, auxiliary that we already created, and we're just going to have a listen to that snare. What we used before on the kick sub is we put the EQ73 on it, and I'm actually going to do that again. So just for quickness, speed, what I'll do is I'll just drag that down, if my mouse would let me, drag that down to here. And the reason why it's a stereo one, by the way, is because there are a couple of samples that have some ambience in them. Zach is asking me a question. He says, 2 questions. Have you ever used the Avid S3 controller, and have you used the iCurve Stealth Limiter? Yeah, the IK Stealth Limiter is absolutely fantastic, but I've not used the Avid S3 controller. I have used Avid controllers, and I love them. I mean, I like controllers. To me, growing up using consoles, big, small, medium, I had like a Soundtrax Topaz, I had a TAC Scorpion, I had a Soundcraft. I've had all kinds of inexpensive up-and-coming consoles till I finally got to like Neve 8058. I had a Neve 8058. I had a 1971 16-channel sorry, 20 channel API. I have a CADAC 12 channel. I have an SSL. I have a BCM 10. I mean, I'm now in the sort of like more expensive consoles, but I grew up always coveting those. So for me, I don't tend to use digital consoles just because that's what I do using a mouse, and then I have analog stuff. However, whatever works for you. People ask me about this, like what's best. And I will say when it comes to like controllers and stuff like that, if you haven't grown up, yes, and thank you for the $5 that's just bought us a coffee. Thank you. So if you've grown up using, not using anything, I don't know if I necessarily would, recommend using a console if you've not grown up using a console. I mean, it's not a dogma. It's not dogma. It's not what I mean, but I do think that I used consoles. Does that mean you have to? No. Yeah. Clay says he has a Porsche. There you go. Anyway, so I'm going to do some typical kind of EQ, what you would expect from a 1073. 1073 for me would be to grab 110 here and boost it. And we'll listen to it on and off. And then I would probably go, it depends on the crack situation, but I might go to 1.6 and give it a little tiny bit, or I might just go to 7 and then even just a little on the top there. But so let's go to 7 and do a little boost. I want you to hear this on and off. Are you hearing that? The 110 is really, really sweet. And this is very Neve sounding. Listen. I love that. That's great. That's really, really good. Let's put it in the track.
All I see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling. All I see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't.
Cool. So I brought it back just a little bit. And I increased the 7K. Now, I think the next thing that's obvious about this is let's put a little bit of room on this. Now, everybody knows the Andy Wallace trick now, which is to take a sample and use that for reverb. So let's have a listen to the samples. It's kind of a catch-22 because that one's the driest, and this one has the most amount. This one has the most of ambience, but it's the one I like the sound of most. So I'm going to use this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create another track. I'm making a send on 1560. I'm going to create another auxiliary track. And if you just want to quickly do things, you can also just duplicate tracks and rename them. But I'm going to create a brand new one, which in Pro Tools, for those that are using, of course, is Shift Command or Shift Apple for those of us old enough to remember, N. And then I'm just going to scroll to a stereo auxiliary, some bus. No, an auxiliary here. We'll just take it in on 1516. We'll call this snare verb. And we're going to fold that into 7 and 8 into our drum bus there. Now, there's a couple of things we could do. We could shape the EQ going in. I don't know if I'm going to do that initially, but quite often you can shape the EQ going into the reverb, but I'm not going to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to IK here and have a look. So far, we've been actually staying out of the way of reverb, so this is going to be kind of fun. I think... let's have a look. There's the plate, there's the room. Let's go for the room here. Okay, let's have a listen. This is the default, so I'm not touching anything. Let's have a listen to the default. It's actually really nice. It's actually really nice. As ever, of course, it defaults to something that sounds good. So let's see if these inputs that this crazy grouping that Eric has created for us inadvertently. Okay, here we go.
The crowd when I'm feeling down, I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I won't pretend.
All right, I've got to be honest, I love that default. This is how sometimes life gets like quite easy. You just kind of like open it up and go, oh, okay, there it is. Wow. Pretty darn good. It works straight away for me. Really, really sounded good. Somebody's getting hung up on the of this being the wrong looking plugin, so I'm going to change it over so that they don't get upset. Here you go. So I'm going to go back to that 165 here that it defaulted to.
All I see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle.
Tom Official is asking IK, do you know, is it IR based or algorithmic? That's a good question. That's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so sometimes life can be that simple. Now, I don't know if I want it to be, I'm going to do a quick, that's great. For the chorus, that worked perfectly. I think for me in the verse, I'm going to bring this reverb down dramatically. Let's have a listen, see if there's a...
To resist it, but maybe there's something for me inside letting go. All I see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling down. I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window.
Now, it's interesting. Normally, I would push the snare more in the choruses, and I still might if we put a pad down or something and open up stuff. So normally I might, but what I love about this, to be honest, is by just pushing the reverb more in the choruses, the snare's coming out a little bit, even with those additional guitars. So let's have another listen, but it's amazing how much of a difference making.
To resist it, but maybe there's something for me inside letting go. All I see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling down. I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast.
One thing I'm going to go to the screen, to the main screen here. Hello. One thing I've learned myself from doing these streams, when we do these streams, I'm explaining a lot of stuff. So I'm explaining my thought process. I'm also showing that sometimes it's a lot easier than we make it ourselves. We make our life difficult. We spend ages second guessing ourselves. I brought up that reverb, which I have used half a dozen times on different tracks recently, but I went to the reverb. It defaulted to a relatively short decay time. I want the drums to still sound tight, but I wanted a bit of ambience. So the default setting worked. Now, if this song was released and suddenly became a hit, everybody would be like, oh my God, what a genius, decision-making process. Sometimes it's cutting ourselves some slack and allowing ourselves to just kind of listen and interpret things and not, we put too much pressure on ourselves. And what I've learned from doing these streams, and which has been invaluable, is the ability to stand back and listen. Because I'm communicating with you, you guys and girls are making great suggestions. I'm listening to ideas. And, that's a really good default setting. There's a couple of things about the Avid stock plugins which are defaults. They sound pretty good, but nothing as good as that straight off. That was really, really fantastic. And what I like about the sound of this plugin, getting back to the plugin, is that it's giving me a little bit of an 80s kind of thing, which I was going for on this, was sort of very dry drums, but then controlled, definitely, like a definite reverb rather than a room. And I like this. Even though it's called classic room, it's giving me that separate kind of snare. It's what I wanted. Now, don't get me wrong. We could feed the whole drum kit through it and then it would be more of a room tone, but I like it just on the snare. And yeah, I think we have to cut ourselves some slack, because I've been in the rooms with some of the biggest mixers in the world, and they have all of their reverbs set up, like their 3, 4, 5 reverbs, and not one of them ever turns round and adjusts it. It's just the settings that they use, and they'll put a bit more into the snare or a bit or less. There's a lot of sort of mythology about, I time the snare, sustain and release time to the reverb. They make it sound like they spend a month mixing a song. Quite often there's go-to tools that we use that work really well, and that was a great go-to tool. So bravo, IK, you just gave us a pretty defined snare sound straight off there. All right, excellent. Moving on.
Inside, letting go. All I see are the clouds. Yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling down. I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I won't pretend that I'm all I should be.
I just need to copy that over.
I won't pretend. I won't pretend that I'm all I should be. Sometimes I.
Okay, I'm going to go back down to the vocal now. I'm loving the way it's sounding. It's sitting pretty darn close. Volume-wise, it sits really nicely in the track. We need to do some work on it. So, for a start off, do the job, it sounds pretty darn good. Okay, just consolidating, get rid of all the fades. All right, so let's be honest, the vocal was definitely recorded the way I wanted to hear it. On this particular one, we used the inexpensive Lewitt, the 440 Pure, but we used it with the 1173. So that gave us compression on the way in, so you can hear it.
I'm full of doubt and 100 reasons to say I'm done and mean it more than I have before. I said I'd stay, but I thought the bleeding would go away, but now I see it's about to pour.
So you can hear that there's a decent amount of compression on this. It's sounding, I can hear the compression. It doesn't seem like it needs that much more. We're keeping the song relatively open sounding. However, a little bit wouldn't hurt. So let's have a quick search here. I was going to look over here at my my plugin section. This is all the software. Wow, there's so much stuff we're going to get to. This is insane. And we'll do our first giveaway in a minute. Sorry, I've been waffling on. But let's have a quick look. There's so many things in this bundle. It's absolutely stupid. It's crazy, man. So TR5, we don't want to upset anybody with the wrong graphic. Okay, so TR5. You know what? Dave was telling me, Dave Kersner over at IK, when I was telling him, I basically I called him and said after the last bundle, after the last video, and said, "Wow, your Dynamu is insane." And he goes, "Well, actually, my favorite is the British channel, so we're going to use the British channel on the vocal, per Dave's recommendation."
I'm full of doubt and 100 reasons to say I'm done and mean it more than I have before. I said I'd stay, but I thought the bleeding would go away, but now I see it's about to pour. I'm full of doubt and 100 reasons to say I'm done and mean it more than I have before. I said I'd stay, but I thought the bleeding would go away, but now I see it's about to pour.
So I did some subtle things there. All I did there that was quite subtle is I just took out some low end, just a bit. Well, I suppose it says 3.7. But I boosted a lot of highs. I'm not hearing a huge amount of de-essing, which is rather nice. But just for schnizzle, we're going to go in and got to make sure I use the right looking thing, or I'll get people upset. Okie dokie. Here is the TR5 de-esser. This is actually, I used this the other day on a mix. This is insanely good. Again, look, this is something I've been enjoying about the modern de-essers, because obviously I grew up using de-essers, hardware de-essers when I was a kid, and then when the first kind of plug-in de-essers came out, you know, they had a frequency that you could move around. This on the modern ones is beautiful. Look at this. It takes a whole area of pain that we hate the sound of and just kind of like, you can adjust the range so nicely now. Oh.
I'm full of doubt and 100 reasons to say I'm done and mean it more than I have before. I said I'd stay, but I thought the bleeding would go away, but now I see it's about to pour. I'm full of doubt and 100 reasons to say I'm done and mean it more than I have been.
Okay, so a lot of you ask me, why do I put the de-esser before an EQ? Well, that's because I want to control the high end. And so if I put it before the EQ and then boost afterwards, what I'm doing is I'm not going to boost unwanted frequencies. So far, so good. I'm really just kind of... The thing about this de-esser, and the reason why I was using it the other day on a different mix, was I was able to just kind of like get a whole group of offending frequencies and control them. That is where modern de-essing is just killing not only hardware, but the earlier plugins. I mean, I will use, you know, the default one that comes with the DAW. I'm sure you all do. But if you're gonna buy one piece of thing, bearing in mind, you might be doing EDM. There might be people here watching that are EDM people that, yes, they're buying a bundle like this because they want the, you know, the Syntronic, and they want all of those kind of great. They want the, what's the Jupiter one called again? Am I allowed to say that? The J8, which is just insane. So, you know, they might want the J8, you know, but you want to, the only organic thing you're recording, and this happens all the time, I totally understand. I was in a session yesterday, and a girl singer came in with the writer I was working with, and played her tracks that were all produced by like some huge current pop writer. There wasn't a single instrument on it that was real. Not a single instrument. Every single thing was a sample. Every single thing was a sample of a virtual instrument, except, of course, one thing. And what was that? Answers on a postcard. It's obvious, a vocal. It's why, you know, like, it's why we always talk about vocals. It's why there's so much talk. So if you're going to buy one thing outside and you're an EDM guy or girl, if you want to do one thing, a de-esser is a massive tool, because a lot of people, and I totally understand, because I'm a huge proponent, have a $200 microphone or $150 microphone, something really, really super inexpensive. Maybe they've got like a tool like this. Maybe they've got something like this, and they're writing and recording their music, And so just drop my phone, of course. Why wouldn't I? And the you know, they have these basic tools, but the only other thing they have is an inexpensive microphone. And one of the problems with inexpensive microphones, as I'm sure you're all aware, those of you that have owned them, currently own them or not, is they're very, very high middly, high-endy, lispy sounding. So if I was going to invest in one plugin, what would it be? A de-esser. And this is a remarkably good one because it's got that width. Now, there are other ones on the market that are doing this, but that's the reality. Is like, if you're going to do this, this one seems to be winning in lots of situations for us. And it was interesting because I was actually trying out somebody else's plugin that I liked. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if I can make that too. And then I opened this up and I'm like, where has this been my whole life? So I don't know, if you're watching this and you don't have the budget to buy this full bundle, which I totally understand, but you're an EDM guy or girl and you're sitting making music, I would invest in a third-party de-esser probably before anything else. You could use your stock delays, your stock reverbs, your stock EQs, but a third-party de-esser, this T-Rex de-esser, I can stand behind 100% as a massive investment. If the bundle is not in your price range at the moment, at least get this, because listen to what this is doing. With the way I recorded it, I don't have to do much else now.
I'm full of doubt and 100 reasons to say I'm done in me.
You know, I could get even a bit more aggressive on it at times, you know, but generally speaking, this was an inexpensive mic. This was a $249 mic. I know that's probably expensive for some of you, but I live in a world where I've got a $15,000 mic sitting over here, and this $250 mic sounded better on his vocal. So yes, it's not free, it's not cheap, it's not $100, but this is where we're at. This de-esser, put the two things together, a little bit of on the 73, a little low cut, a little high cut, high boost here, and that's my vocal sound. Let's go into a dense situation, and I love it. Have a listen here.
But maybe there's freedom for me inside letting go. All I see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling down. I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast at night.
That's pretty much done it for me. There's a couple of moments where, you know, I could apply some individual stuff on it, but also just as quickly and easily from a mixing point of view is I could go in and clip gain down like one or two that are just like a psh, psh, psh. If there's one or two in your mix, why? This is another thing. So why like search for 57 different ways of solving a problem when if it's only one or two that are too much, turn them down. You know, this is controlling 99.9% of every issue I've got. All right, sorry to spend such a long time on this, but I think it's really important because I know so many people, you're at that place where you have one mic, you're recording vocals and recording very, very few, you know, other instruments. Okay, let's do a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway. And it'll give me an excuse to pick up my guitar here. I have no idea. I don't really need an excuse. That's just what I do. I think Danny J, they really kind of are that. And I think, yeah. So anyway, let's moving swiftly on. What do we want to know? I think we usually talk here. Yeah, we're doing the giveaway now, Alexa. We usually talk about what DAWs people are using. There's a couple of things I want to know. Are you know what? I think this is good for all of us, especially for IK to know a little bit. Are you currently using any IK plugins? This would be interesting. And if so, which IK plugin are you using? Now, if you're not using any IK plugins, and they didn't ask me to ask this, I just think it's an interesting thing, because we usually ask about, DAWs, we ask about like specific kinds of plugins, but I'd love to know if you are using IK, which ones do you use? Play some Black Sabbath. This actually should be up here, but I haven't got. There's no cutaway. There you go. There's some Black Sabbath for you. So, if you are, and you can say no and still be entered. And if you are, which one are you using? Oh, there's a lot of people using it. Amplitude, T-Rax, Amplitude. No, but would love to. Amplitude. People are using this 76. A lot of Amplitude users here. Wow. Syntronic. Okay, so we have guys and girls. IK Multimedia says they're using all of them. T-Rax. Lursen, Amplitude. Amplitude, T-Rax. Interesting. Two of the ones that I feature a lot are Amplitude and T-Rax, so that's great. And I featured a lot of Lursen. There's a few of you using Lursen as well. Great. T-Rax. Amplitude, T-Rax, Amplitude. Wow. Oh, people are using the 73. Amplitude, Syntronic, and Lursen. Saturation X. Amplitude. None yet, but you love your iLouds. Great, Lawrence. Lursen as well. Amplitude Sample Tank. Total Studio Package. Metering Sontronics. Amplitude is killing it, yeah. Wow, Amplitude free. Wow, Amplitude. Lot of Amplitude users. Is that coffee over there? Wow. IK Multimedia. I suppose that's, there's a lot of us here that are guitar players. More Amplitude. Wow. Sontronics free year version. T-Rax. Clown Cleaner says he uses lots of them. Amplitude. Dimebag was a riff machine. You are correct. Even the Amplitude version was great. So people are, see, that's something I didn't know. I'm really glad we asked this question because a lot of T-Rax users, which I wasn't actually surprised with because I'm such a huge T-Rax fan, we use it all the time. And we all know that it's a secret weapon of so many producers and mixers that put it on their mixes to kind of get level and punch out of it so when they're sending in mixes and stuff like that, they get it approved easier. So we all know that. Not that everybody admits it, but that's the truth. I know so many guys that do that. But the Amplitude thing is huge. I saw about 300 Amplitude uses there, which considering there is about 400 people on, that's pretty insane. So please, oh, by the way, please like and share. I see we have 177 likes. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Sheila. I appreciate so please hit that like button. And there he is. Congrats, Songwriter Till. Yeah, Sample Tank Custom Shop. You want a copy of Total Studio 2 Max. So just send an email. Oh, by the way, last week we had somebody, we figured it out, but we had somebody who gave the wrong information, wrong email or something. I can't remember. So just when you win, so it's the first time it's ever happened, so it's probably not going to happen again. But when you win, whoever wins, make sure you email Matt, as soon as you can, so he can get you in contact with IK so they can give you the full bundle. Is IK listening? Yes. Zach, IK is listening. Question I came in. Can I get Vocal Live for desktop computers? If not, any plans to port over? So IK, did you see that question from Zach Kokorian? What a cool name, Kokorian. Anyway, so marvelous. Let's get cracking. Let's get back to this. All right, where did we leave off?
All I see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling down. I let myself drive up the coast at night. breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window.
Okay, before we move on and open up any virtual instruments, which we will do in a minute, I promise, I'm dying to try something in a chorus, especially that last chorus, just to give it some change. We need to do some stuff with the verse and with this reintro things here. These guitars are sort of getting ignored. So we've already did something, or we're going to do something on the bridge guitars, but let's try something on these verses here.
Should be. Sometimes I can't be anything more than flesh and blood.
I really like those. They're super, super low. So I think the first thing we can do is turn it up a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a mono auxiliary. Okay, so let's just make that. Let's take a bus that isn't being used yet. Let's make bus 124. We're going to take it out from here. You're going to see what I'm going to do. So this is bus 124. And we're going to call this guitar verse, just so I know what it is. Verb. Is it going to be a verb or a short delay? I haven't decided yet. Let's have a quick look. We're going to try the reverb first. So let's go here. And let's find, making sure that we use the 5. We don't want to upset anybody. There's a plate we could use. Plate might be a nice way to go. Okay, so here's the plate. So first of all, let's go default. Now, it's already panned that guitar, if you notice here, 54, just a randomy kind of left. So, sorry, right. So it's panned the reverb the opposite way. And it's got a reverb time of 1.3 seconds. It's probably going to be a little long. Let's have a listen. So now in real time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the reverb time down so you can have a listen. Now, typically, I might want to do this inside of the track and not soloed. But I'm doing this because I want you to hear what it's doing. So have a listen.
Place, and I'm way too vain to resist it, but I won't pretend that I'm all a sinner after the American daydream, but well aware that it's a fever called make-believe, like a taste of fame from the safest place, and I'm way too vain.
Great. Now, some of you might know that we've actually done downloads of these of a lot of David's albums. So if you look under the video, if Matt hasn't already, Matt can do it here. He can give you links to lots of the multi-tracks that we've done with David. There's one we did just recently, so please, 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 if you haven't already, and obviously if you're not an Academy member and you don't already have access to everything that we do, and we have, I can't remember, last count inside of the Academy, we have over 40 multi-tracks, and we do mixed breakdowns every week. We do mixed critiques, and we do a mixed breakdown every month, and we go through it. So if you're not already an Academy member, please remember to go and check that out. It's just really fantastic place. About 50% of the people here are already Academy members. If I look up here, I'm seeing tons of Academy members interacting and helping each other. It's amazing how incredible this is. Anyway, to cut a long story short, you can download a lot of different tracks we've done with with David on this album. The idea of this album was to illustrate exactly what we've been doing with these live streams. And what that is like there's a small drum kit in there, and my live room is much smaller than my control room, because this was built really for overdubs and mixing. But I have a live room which is about the size of a kid's bedroom. And in that kid's bedroom is a 64 Ludwig, which I got from Craigslist for my wife for $400, whopping $400. So it's a $400 drum kit with inexpensive Lewitt microphones, recorded through an Audient ASP 800 and an ID14. So cheap mics, affordable I/O, and now it's being mixed, as you can see here, with IK products. So what we're doing is we are basically doing real world, all mixed on a pair of headphones, and they're blue Lolas. The whole point of doing this is to say, look, mixing in the box, recording through inexpensive equipment is all absolutely positive. You can do this. It's not a difficult thing for us to do. And I hadn't even consistently mixed on headphones until I started doing these streams. And people were debating me on whether it was possible to mix on headphones. And then I just woke up one day and realized that we'd done like 3 or 4 streams mixing on headphones. So there's the answer to that question. You can mix on headphones because we're doing it. Sometimes it's just get on and do it. Okay, so I've got a ton of plugins on. Hopefully when I get, this is the other thing I wanted to do. Let's get to this guitar here. I'm going to pan it the same way as that one. I might even dump it down on there.
Driving up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. Just for tonight.
So the reality is like, and here's just a bit of track consolidation. I had a whole different guitar part that we probably did at a different time, and it got put onto a different track. There is no reason for that now. And I'm trying to, like I just said, I'm running a lot of plugins. I'm running a big-ish session here. And this isn't, I don't have the latest and greatest thing. So what I'm doing is I'm copying that down onto this track. I'm now going to take this and I'm going to hide and make it inactive. Should give my CPU a little bit of a break. Remember, this is an important thing. Track management. I'm using a lot of DI tracks, or I'm not using them. For instance, they're there in case we want to open up Amplitude like we did in a previous video and try different things. But the moment we're not doing that, we're not using any kind, on this take at the moment, any kind of, Amplitude situations we would do. Now, somebody, I've got to go, did ask us a question. They just donated $5. Thank you ever so much, Chainpick. You just bought Eric a cup of coffee. Woohoo, says Eric. Whoops. So let's just listen to what I just did. So that's now panned the same way and using the reverb.
I'm driving up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. Just for tonight, let me escape the light. Drive up the west coast, all on my own. Just for tonight, let me escape the light. Drive up the west coast.
Oh, Deanna, you use Stage Light. That's great. That's a great DAW to get people started. I've always been a fan of free or affordable software to get people started. All of us can agree, IK, everybody in this business, that the most important thing about this business is get started making music. Just get started making music. So if you're using Stage Light, and I know they do free versions, and that's great. That's the way to get going in music here.
Let me escape the light. Drive up the west coast, all on my own.
Oh, what, Martin? You heard some Brian May influence on this? We almost got 1 hour and 26 minutes into it. No, sorry, 56 minutes into it without anybody mentioning Queen, usually me. But we did it. We got there. We went there. We mentioned Queen. Yes, that my harmonies are definitely very Queen reminiscent. So I've heard.
Drive up the West Coast, all on my own, just for tonight.
Okay, couple of things. There's a nice little bass run there, which I don't even remember doing. So let's have a listen to that. It's not just so I can say, hey, look, I did a nice bass run. It's a little bit more important than that. Let's do some automation. As you can see, this is our bass sound. We had a lot of fun with this one.
For tonight,
Mistake.
on my own, just for tonight.
Do a quick fix.
Just for tonight.
So all I'm going to do, quite frankly, is go to my bass sub down here and just turn up the bass. So here's 1.5 dB up.
Just for tonight, let me escape the light. Drive up the West Coast, all on my own.
So somebody's making a comment about the bass, saying it's flabby. Now, the sound of the bass is should never be listened to in solo. I'm doing it in here to illustrate and find the point and all this kind of stuff. How does it sound in the track? If you get too obsessional and get too caught up with how things sound in solo, you will really not get good tracks. I remember working with Tom Lord Alge as a musician. Tom mixed my band Star 69's record. Tom is a big IK fan, by the way, so check him out. And I played bass and guitar on the record. And when he soloed my bass at one section, it literally was just had no top end and no bite. And I was like, what? And then as soon as he put it in the track, it was amazing. It made the whole huge guitar sound absolutely massive. But then when it came to a section that the bass was featured, you know, when you came to a bass where it was featured, what he did is he EQ'd it differently to be there. So, oh no, Alexa, you can solo, but don't, when you solo things, just be really careful. You don't want to like start making decisions based on how it sounds in solo. I go to solo to fix a problem. So what happened is, like, I thought to myself, you should definitely solo. When people that say don't solo are crazy. I mean, that's not true. I mean, I've been in a room with every major mixer in the world and people solo. We all do that. However, you've got to make the decision. I think you're missing what I'm saying, you see, Alexa. What I'm saying is I don't want to add any more byte to that. You know, hey, are you using Sonarworks 4 reference 4 right now? No, I'm not at the moment. I have it turned off. It's not that I don't use it, but we're doing fully IK multimedia at the moment. But anyway, and it's, you know, just because I'm making decisions like that. I am a big fan of that, but that's not what we're doing here. So yeah, just be really careful that if you're missing something in the mix, then go and look for how to fix it, as opposed for soloing everything and fixing it and then putting it together and realizing your mix doesn't work. So that's the lesson here, is like, of course you can use solo. In fact, you should. But you've got to find a problem with your mix and then solo to fix it, you know, when you're like, is it too, you know what I mean? As opposed to the other way around. I watch people mix in solo and then put things together and it just doesn't work. That's what I'm saying. Here we go.
Just for tonight, let me escape the light. Drive up the West Coast, all on my own. All I see are the clouds, yeah, I'm feeling down. I let myself light up a cigarette. I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling down. I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window.
So for me, that's basically the mix. Now, there are more things to do. What are the things that I would do? Well, first of all, I haven't done any additional effects on the vocals, and I could do a couple of moments where I want to change things up a little bit and create different energies. As you know, I love using delays and using delays with, with compression after them, so it's sidechained. So that when the singer's not singing, the delays grow in volume. There's tons of other stuff I could do. Most of what's going to happen next on this mix now is going to be automation. I'm going to start pushing up kicks and maybe a little bit more on the snare in the choruses, maybe bringing up. All of these kind of things are where we're at. Tom Lord Algie is a sweetheart. He really is. He's a great guy. What's interesting, IK Multimedia, is I worked with Tom in 96. He mixed my album in 96. That's 22 years ago. I saw him at NAMM this year, so 22 years later, and he asked me how I was doing, how my singer was doing, what car I had, because we were talking cars last time. I had bought a 67 Le Mans, which was totally cherry, and he was really into cars, and it was like that, 22 years later. That's a guy who's sharp. That's a really sharp guy who remembered our whole time together over a week of mixing the record. So yeah, not only is Tom Lord Algie funny, he's frickin'. Yeah, I use Spank all the time. I like the Spank. Yeah, Spank to me is the sound of an SSL, EQ into compression. Anyway, just going to put a little bit of a fade on this note here on the bass. That's interesting. Has my A to Z button been turned off? What's going on here? Or is it because this has already got something? Yes, because it's already got something.
Cigarette, I can't handle the crowd when I'm feeling down. I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke.
I was funny. Are you joking about Tom? His last name is Lord Algie. It's Chris's brother. Okay, so huge rock mixer. I mean, in the 90s and early 2000s, he ruled the radio. Like, absolutely ruled radio. It was insane. Okay, so I've got a lot of plugins going here, and especially some stuff up here on my mic that is quite taxing. So hopefully we can open up something. Oh, wait, we need to do another giveaway. I'm sorry, everybody. Because I really want to open up the Jupiter 8 one. I mean the J8, sorry. Am I allowed to say Jupiter 8? That's really what I'm trying to go for here. I'm sort of like so holding back here. Anyway, let's do another giveaway then. And stay around to the end. Oh, dude, he's so much more than CLA's brother. Trust me. Like I just said, he was a huge mixer in like from some of the biggest records of the 90s, as IK's pointing out, Throwing Copper, because my band was signed to Radioactive, which was also Live's label. And we had the same label manager and the same A&R and everything. So, yeah. Yeah, amazing. All right, so let's do the next giveaway. And by the way, stick around to the end, because at the end, we're going to give away one more Total 2 package, but we're also going to give away a year's membership to the Academy. I see we have 400 people watching. Thank you ever so much. Please hit that like button. And if you can, share. So do that. If you're not already subscribers, hit the subscribe button. That would be amazing. Please hit that subscribe button now. We're coming up onto 250,000 subscribers, 250,000 subscribers. That is amazing. So if you want to win, here's a dumb, quick and easy question that I never ask. Do you have a favorite mixer? Who's your favorite mixer? If you have a favorite mixer, I'd love to know who you like. Who do you listen to? Who's the person that inspires you? Please like, please subscribe. If you can, share the video as well. That would be absolutely amazing. Let's say special thanks to IK for giving us all of these incredible plugins to give away. And yes, please like, share, subscribe. But most importantly, who is your favorite mixer? I'd love to know. And I don't have to know who it is. Let us know who your favorite. Oh, thanks, IK. I'm not looking for compliments. TLA, lovely. Alex Terme, Alan Mulder. Alan Mulder's amazing. Oh, you're very kind. Bruce Swedian, Sheps, Tim Palmer. Oh, thank you. Everybody, Jaqua's amazing. Andy Wallace. Reinhold Mack. Jürgen. I'm not choosing. Oh, thank you. Yes, Muttland counts. These all count. Joe Barisi's amazing. Alan Parsons, Sheps, Andrew, of course, Tim Palmer. Glad there's so many Tim Palmers. Mark's getting a lot of Jay Rustons in there. CLA, Serban, Sylvia. Great ones. Bob Rock, Crystal Algae. Thank you. You're all very, very kind. Eddie Kramer. Eddie's great. Absolutely fantastic. It's nice to see. Nice to see Bob Clearmountain. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Clearmountain's fantastic. Martin Birch. Great one there. Eddie Kramer. Glenn Fricker. Look at Glenn. I like that. Brendan O'Brien. Pensado. Clearmountain again. Alan Parsons. Oh, David Bendiff. That's a great selection. Fantastic. More Tim Palmers. Lots of Tim Palmers. Nicolas Cage. Alan Mulder. Oh, thank you again. Mick Rosowski. Yeah. Bob Clearmountain again. Daniel Lanois. Joe Barisi again. Tom Official's going for it here. Gary Katz. Mick Grozowski. Sheps. Young Guru. Jerry Dam. Terry Lewis. Rick Rubin. Michael in the mix. Yeah, he's wonderful. Wonderful. Gin and tonic. Whoever mixed Dire Straits. I don't know who mixed Dire Straits. I can't remember for the life of me. Chad Blake. Matt. Hopefully Matt. This is really unfair on Matt here, because he might pick somebody that you're joking about. Glyn Johns, George Martin. I don't know if George was really considered the mixer on those. It's probably, in those days, it was probably Andy Wallace. I mean, Andy Wallace, that's a tough one. You know. Al Schmidt, that's a great one. That's a fantastic one. Fantastic. Well, that's amazing. All right. Thanks ever so much for everybody's opinion there. All right, so I am going to go. Hopefully, I haven't overloaded my CPU because I have a lot of crazy plugins that aren't associated with this session at the moment. Here's my instrument here. Okay. You know I've been waiting to do this. I'll close plugins down if necessary because I can print stuff, but all right. All right, instrument. Do 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 do. Oh, it's not under manufacturer. Down 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 down. Oh, I see. So I open it up here. You gotta treat me like an idiot, everybody. Oh, wow. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Okay, I'm just gonna have to take stock of this. we just uploaded downloaded all of these. So I'm gonna be a little bit of a kid here. This is great. And because I'm in record, I can talk and use it. I'm just going to go through some stuff. Dum-de-dum. So I'm looking at 3D tune saw wave sample through discrete, a deep sweeper. You have to treat me like a bit of an idiot here because I'm all completely new to this. Oh, I see. Here we go. Here's all the J8. Oh, okay. Let me see. Love it. Jazz, baby. This is crazy. Oh, I see. Okay, so I hit the more sounds and it opened up a whole bunch of other stuff over here. So, you know, there's just lots of schnizzle going on here. That's like classic J8 that I remember. I'm calling Jupiter 8 J8 because that's what they're calling it here. You're hearing my bad piano playing here. Plus, I'm trying to get through these things. Polymorph, Pro V, Sam, Stringbox. I want to see what this is. You know, there was a couple of keyboards I had as a kid that I couldn't, that was sort of cheap. One of those was the Moog Opus, and that's what this reminds me of. And you couldn't give those away when I was a kid. And now they're really good because you can distort them and mess them up and have some fun with them. Oh, wow. This is where we need Dave Kersner needs to be here playing keys. Dave, you just need to fly in next time we do these. Dave is over at IK Multimedia and he's a shredding musician, like insane musician. All right, so I'm just having a little bit too much fun here. 303 multi-glide, string box and viola. 99. Okay, so this is basically a DX7. All right, you can tell I'm just like looking at all of this stuff. I'm like a big kid trying this all for the first time. Okay. I am a big kid. The J60. Nice. This is really, really kind of fun. And of course, I could play absolutely anything and then add it afterwards. Now I've got all the categories here. I've got electric piano, synth bass, synth lead, synth pad. Okay, so I see what's going on. So then I can go through here and basic, more sounds, full glide, restrictor, electro. Oh, I can go techno, house. All right. Yeah, I mean, this is like a rabbit hole of fun. So the Syntronic. Okay, what else have I got? Sorry, I'm having a little bit too much fun here, and we're just scraping the surface as ever. And we got all the sample tank stuff. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
I let myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving.
That was really untasty, wasn't it? I want to go to the string box here, and I'm going to bring it down. This is really super synthetic sounding, but I'm actually kind of excited to see what it would be like. So there's the J60 strings. Let's see what they're like. Okay, yeah. This is what I want. I want something like super 80s. Bring it down. Let's get rid of that. Not even going to frickin'
Myself drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window.
How's it? See how, sometimes, yeah, I know what I wanted. I wanted like classic kind of 80s synth. Here it was. It just reminds me of being a kid. I'm not even going to really tighten it because of that fill. We could go into the MIDI and tighten it. Let's have a listen.
Drive up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window. I'm driving up the coast at night, breathing smoke out the window.
That was it. Sometimes, we were talking about this earlier. Sometimes things can be that simple. You can just go in there and you get a default sound. And you're like, that's what I'm looking for. And that's what I was looking for. It's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, the Juno 60 did it. It's just perfect in the background. I think I have the advantage of being old enough to remember Juno 60s. When I was a kid, that was like, I would go to my local music stores and just they had Jupiters and like, God, I remember being a little kid and they had SH101s, It's just, the arpeggiator would be really good. I don't know about necessarily on this song, but really, really simple. Love seeing what you do most of the time when writing and mixing a song. There's no wrong way, but seeing you do it makes me feel pro. Exactly. I've sat in a room with like every, blah-de-blah, like well-known whatever. And this is what we do. We just go in and we audition some sounds and we drop it in. It's not freaking rocket science. Sometimes people spend weeks coming up with something that feels really simple. It's not about the process, it's about the results. And if your process is weeks or seconds, it doesn't matter. All that really matters is the results. Not all that really matters, only thing that matters is the results. This sort of idea that, some genius is like just, has 20 minutes to spare and writes Imagine. It's just not like that. It's not like that at all. Okay, let's do one more wonderful giveaway. This giveaway is going to be a big one because now you're just seeing scraping the surface of all of the other things that we've got here. We've got Sample Tank. We've got Syntronic. You know what? I'm going to take this over here. This is what I've been looking at. Okay, so this is what's in the Total 2 package. So these are all the synths that I was looking at. So under here, they've got 17 instruments, 2,000 presets on 38 iconic synths. Okay, so that's all of those. That's what we were going through really quickly. And then on the acoustic and the electric piano, our artist is here. You're on our live stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then, of course, we've got the acoustic and the electric sample tank. I don't know where Eric is. He's hiding. Then sample tank. This is nice. Got Alan Parsons stuff here. And Brandenburg piano, American acoustic. Billy Cobham, Hugh Padgham drums. That's pretty freaking awesome. Neil Peart drums, Terry Bozzio drums. Wow. Some good stuff in there. Really, really amazing. So all of this, and then of course there's a Miroslav Philharmonic, which we didn't even, this is all included in the bundle, which we are now about to give away. One last one. So, one last question. And this also includes a 1-year Academy membership. So my last question would be, Eric is secretly adding groups. So 94 products, 16,800 sounds, 39 high-end mixing and mastering processors, 350 gear models for guitar and amps, yeah. Mark says he has to lock himself away for a month if he won this. Who's Mary and Joseph? I'm drooling, drums tall, yeah. Eric drinking coffee, me want. Okay, so what can we ask for this last thing? The last giveaway. I don't come prepared with these questions, do I? And I don't get a text from Matt. Matt, you got any ideas? No ideas from Matt. The question is, do you have any software, virtual synthesizers, virtual drums, any of that world that we just looked in? Do you have any of that? And if you do, what is it? And if you don't, that's fine. You can answer, no, I don't. Or you can say you're using the stock ones inside of it. Let's find out a little bit more. What do you need? What do you use? And if you don't have it, that's absolutely fine. I haven't mixed on earbuds yet, although I just got some from Focal that I'm going to try out. Strange enough, today, Omnisphere. I don't know if IK is going to do a subscription or not. Yeah, what MIDI instruments of Toll do you use? What plugins do you use? We've got Superior Drummer. And if you don't know, not yet is okay. Easy Drum, Addictive Drums, Arturia. Synths, any synths as well. Spectrasonic, Superior, Omnisphere, Contact. Wow, okay, Sample Tank. Yeah, Sample Tank's very popular. Stock plugins, Valhalla, Mixcraft, Reason. Addictive Keys, IK Multimedia, Stock, Samples, Easy Drummer, Sample Tank, Miroslav, IK Philharmonic, Arturia, Sample Tank, Stock, Yuhi, NI, Contact, Pro Tools Stock, Ultrabeat. So many sample libraries, says Dave. Clint says it will take him 15 minutes to tell him. Well, what's your favorite, Clint? Just tell us what your Clint is. Compete, Miroslav. Wow, awesome synth. Yep, the IK guitar stuff will count as well. Sample Tank. Wow, Addictive Keys. All right, still coming in thick and fast. If you haven't already, please hit like. Are you all subscribers? Is everybody here a subscriber? If not, please hit that subscribe button. How many likes do we have? We have just shy of 400 people watching, and we have 272 likes. Can we get it up to over 300 likes before we go? That would be insane. Can you please hit that like? I need this, says Studio Dude. Have you worked in workshops? Yeah, I did. Brian, I did a masterclass at Blackbird just a few months ago, and I'll do another one next year. So feel free to come down to that. Diesel said there'll be a game changer in his home studio. UA Sir, Battery, Scuffham. Yep, IK does have it all. So King Beasley says more likes. I agree. Let's hit the like button. And I think Matt will choose somebody any second. We're nearly at 300. Let's get to 300. Would be absolutely amazing. And this, remember, is not only for the full bundle. This is for the Studio 2 bundle, Total 2, but it's also for a year's membership to the Academy. There it is. Paul Henty comments, Superior Drummer 3. You just won a copy of Total 2 and a yearly membership. Thank you, everybody. You all absolutely rock. It's 3 minutes to 12, and I'm going to start my next session. This has been absolutely amazing. As ever, please, when this finishes, do me a favor, leave some more comments and questions below. You know, if you've got any comments or any other questions you want to ask, please leave it below. This has been absolutely incredible. We're up to nearly 250,000 subscribers now, which is frickin' I can't believe it. You know, we started 4 years ago. Like I said, you know, we were looking at the other channels which already had over 100,000 subscribers, and we were like, wow, how do you do that? How do you get over 100,000 subscribers? So to be at nearly 250,000 in 4 years is so wonderful. So thank you ever so much. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing. Please hit the like, please subscribe, please share, do all the wonderful things that you do. But most importantly, leave me some comments and questions below. We love being able to interact and engage with you all. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. And those of you in America, have a very wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. And of course, there will be a Black Friday sale. Isn't there always? Okay, have a marvelous time recording and mixing.